Hi everyone. So I've been using Nothing Phone 2A for almost a day now, and I've been waiting for this phone for a really long time. Actually, I wanted to replace the Pixel 6 or Motorola phone in this particular price range because most of my family uses either the Pixel phone or Motorola phone only because of clean software experience. The issue I have with Motorola phone is going to be the update cycle and camera processing, and Pixel is not always available in this price range. So I was expecting Nothing to do better because it's a new company, they're focusing on software, which they're doing, I guess, with the Nothing Phone 2, which I was really impressed with. So the my expectations were really high with this phone, and for the most part, I'm really happy with this phone, except for one thing. We will talk about that later. Before that, I wanted to talk about the experience of unboxing of this phone. I'm not going to talk about Flipkart right now. The thing is, this is a mid-range phone, and this is the box you can see, and it doesn't come with a charger. For a flagship phone, you can get away with that because most of the time the charger cost is like 2 to 3% of the phone because you're buying a phone worth 1 lakh rupees or $1,000. But for a phone like this, which is a cheaper phone, if you want to get that best experience with that 45-watt charging, you need to spend almost 10% of this phone, which I think is not fair. So either you include that price in the phone itself, or you can give a good discount with your special nothing charger or CMF charger. It should be not more than 5%, in my opinion. So yes, a lot of people are complaining about it, which I think is valid for a mid-range phone. Either there has to be an adapter in the box, or you have to give a good discount. So now that is out of the way, let's talk about the phone itself. I really like how the phone looks from the front and those symmetrical bezels which are rare to find anywhere in this price range. And I know many people do not like the back of this phone, but I think it's unique and the plastic quality is really good. The phone doesn't feel cheap from anywhere. I went with the white color because it hides the fingerprint really well, which is not the case with the black color. I heard from a lot of people. Not only that, I think this is one of the best display I have used in this price range. I'm not saying this is the best display. I'm sure there are a lot of other displays you can find in this price range will be better than this. But if it comes to software experience and the pairing in this price range, I think this is the one of the best display I've used. It supports HDR. It's plenty bright, not like huge 1500 or 2000 nit brights, but it can go up to 1100 nits when it comes to high brightness mode, which is decent for most of the phones. It supports HDR on YouTube but not on Netflix, which I think is the case with every Nothing phone because the Netflix doesn't come with the apps itself. The phone comes with a pre-installed screen protector, and I believe it has Gorilla Glass 5 on the front. Although you will need a case for the back because the plastic back scratches easily. I really like the speakers on this phone as well. They're really loud and I actually enjoyed watching content on it. The only thing I did not like is going to be the inbuilt ringtones of Nothing phones. Listen to this. I don't know which one to use. Seriously, all of them are bad. I'm not going to focus on the glyph light because I already talked about it in the previous Nothing phone videos. Nothing has changed here except there are less lights on the back. To use those lights, you need to get in the habit of putting your phone upside down, which is not going to be easy for a lot of people. See, I'm not going to comment on battery as of yet, but the only thing I noticed that the standby drain is a little bit higher than I expected. But it's a new phone, it might take some time to optimize itself, so I will talk about that in my full review. The software for the price is really good. I like the animations, no bloatware, no unnecessary ads or permissions. It is a really clean experience, and I know a lot of people might find it boring, but for most of the people, it's a no-brainer experience. Now, the one thing that I found in this phone, which I was not expecting because I didn't even find that in a cheaper Motorola phone as well, this phone lags a lot. When I got this phone did not heat up at all. So I think it is throttling. I'm not sure what's the reason, or it's just the lack of power. But when I was setting this phone up, this phone was lagging like anything. Now, once in a while, you will see the occasional stutters. I also think the dynamic refresh rate also doesn't work really good on this phone. So if you want the best refresh rate, I think you need to use that on high mode, and that will drain the battery a little bit more. But I think I was expecting a little bit better experience. So I'm not sure whether it's the lack of power completely or the new optimization because of the new chipset, but you will face that time to time. Now, before talking about the camera, I want to talk about some small things. I didn't like the position of this fingerprint sensor. The phone is a little bit wider. Also, the haptic motor is good for the price, but you should keep the intensity too low because if you're typing something in the night, the vibration sound is so much that you can actually wake up another person. And now let's talk about the cameras, where my expectations were really low, so I'm not disappointed. But if you're buying this phone for cameras, I think a Realme phone will give you a better experience than this phone. I really like the skin tones coming out of this phone. I like the selfie camera, I think it produces sharper image, and the overall color processing is also good. There are decent amount of details and even the ultra wide can produce some decent shots. The part where I think the camera lags is going to be the challenging situation, especially if there is a lot of bright light, you will see a lot of overexposure as well. If the light is coming from behind, the phone is not able to handle that very well. There is a little bit reflection going on with the sun. So yes, I think the HDR is not great, but I think for the price, it is performing really good. But the thing is, the camera processing is really slow, especially for the night mode. The videos for the price is also decent. Let's have a look. This is the front camera recording. I'm recording at 1080p 60 frames per second. That's the max you can go. There's no 4K recording from the front camera. You can see the HDR, the sun is behind me, and see the quality. I know it's not going to be as sharp, but the skin color looks okay. And this is the HDR. This is the rear camera recording from the Nothing Phone 2A. I'm recording in 4K 30 frames per second. As you can see, I'm moving slowly, so you can see any jerks. Now I'm gonna walk. You can see the stabilization, which I think is working decent. You can see the HDR, the sun is there. I think the colors look good as well. So what are my final impressions of this phone? I really like this phone. I mean, for the price, I think this is one of the best phone you can get if you're okay with not having charger in the box or the occasional hiccups. But the charger do cost like 10% extra for this phone, so you also need to think about that. But if you're buying this phone for your parents, I think you don't even need to think twice. It's a very good and clean software experience for those. The camera is also decent. I'm going to use this phone for a while and give my full review. So if you have any questions you want me to answer in that video, please let me know in the comment box. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.